I don't know how he can sleep at night knowing that he's got the money for doing what he did to get that money.
The legendary Hulk Hogan once stood at the peak of the wrestling world. At a time, he stood as the face of wrestling, and every child looked up to the white-bearded icon. However, even icons do not have it easy, and could be on the receiving end of life's cruel jokes. What could be wrong with the icon, and where does that leave his immediate family? Join us as we explore how Hulk Hogan's wife is saying goodbye after his tragic diagnosis. Linda tells me she was floored when she heard the size of the massive verdict and hereditary problems. Hulk Hogan represents the peak of the wrestling world, but how did he get there? The climb up the journey to the top was a long and arduous one for Hulk Hogan. He began watching professional events at 16 years old while he was in high school. He adored Dusty Rhodes, and he regularly attended cards at the Tampa Sportatorium. It was at one of these wrestling cards that he first turned his attention towards superstar Billy Graham and looked up to him for inspiration. Aside from wrestling, Hogan is also a skilled musician, spending 10 years playing bass guitar in the several Florida-based rock bands. Many of the wrestlers who competed in the Florida territory at that time visited the bars where Hogan was performing. Pursuing his education further, he attended the University of South Florida, of which he later dropped out. Then he spent most of his time at a local gym. It was here that he met pro wrestler Mike Graham, the son of legendary wrestler and National Wrestling Alliance, NWA President Eddie Graham. His physical stature did not go unnoticed, and he caught the attention of Jack Briscoe and his brother Gerald. Together, they convinced Hogan to try wrestling. Having been a wrestling fan since childhood, Hogan agreed, and in 1976, Mike Graham introduced Hogan to Hiro Matsuda, who was among the sport's top trainers. According to Hogan, during their first training session, Matsuda sarcastically asked him if he really wanted to be a wrestler, and purposely broke his leg. Within a year, Matsuda made sure that he had prepared him for his professional debut, in which Eddie Graham booked him against Brian Blair in Fort Myers, Florida, on August 10, 1977. Hulk Hogan enjoyed immense success at the top level in the wrestling world, but did his personal life go as smoothly? A chaotic life. The Hulkster has been involved with many dramatic storylines across his career, but unfortunately for him, his real life has itself been rife with controversy. Over the years, he has been at the center of a major racism scandal that even saw him erased from WWE for a few years. Unfortunately, the turmoil didn't end with him, as his children have similarly been followed by controversy, especially son Nick Hogan, who was arrested for DUI in 2023. Hulk Hogan's current marriage does seem to be a happy one from the outside, but it is still unknown when exactly he started dating Sky Daly. The Immortal One notably took to social media to share a clip of himself and Daly meeting Bret Michaels backstage after attending one of his concerts. In the clip, Hogan introduced Daly as his girl, which led to many fans raising eyebrows about his previous marriage. Following the fan outcry, Hogan took to X, formerly Twitter, to officially announce that he had been divorced from his second wife for some time, and that Daly, who he had often been posting with at the time, was his new girlfriend. He apologized for confusing his followers. Addressing his fans, he said, "Maniacs, just for the record, the Facebook and Instagram posts are of me and my girlfriend Sky. I am officially divorced. Sorry, I thought everyone already knew. Love my Maniacs for life." On February 25th, 2023, Hogan and Daly were seen together, and shortly after it was announced the wrestling veteran underwent back surgery. Not long after that, the couple announced their engagement in July 2023. Wasting no time, Hogan and Daly tied the knot that following September. While their relationship and eventual marriage have been a matter of public information, since Hogan's clarification, Daly has remained very private outside of appearing alongside Hogan on his Instagram. It's believed she is or was a yoga instructor, and that she has 3 children from a previous marriage. While Brooke always seemed close to her father, and was often pictured alongside Hulk and his second wife, she shockingly didn't attend his wedding to Sky Daly in 2023. It is reported that Hogan and Daly's wedding ceremony was a low-key wedding that was only attended by their nearest and dearest family and friends. As the news began to make the rounds online, Brooke took to her Instagram to release an official statement and explain why she decided not to attend her father's wedding. Brooke clarified that many of her fans know that she values her privacy. However, she was surprised that a lot of media outlets were making assumptions as to why she did not attend her father's third wedding. So, instead of leaving it to speculation, she decided it was better to shut it all down. Here, she noted that for her own journey to healing and happiness, she chose to create some distance between herself and her family, and that she was focusing on people and things that heal her heart and align with her own personal beliefs, goals, and values. Despite Brooke's absence, Hogan's son Nick attended the wedding with his partner, Tanya, and the two posed for several photographs. What happened in the Hulkster's first two marriages? What went wrong? A scandal and a lawsuit. Hulk Hogan met Jennifer McDaniel in 2008 after getting divorced from his first wife, Linda. The two got engaged soon after, but only tied the knot in December 2010. McDaniel was an accomplished Hollywood makeup artist and was notably nominated for the Saturn Award for Best Makeup Artist for the movie Let Me In, which meant she was likely no stranger to celebrity characters like the Hulkster. While the couple was often seen together in the spotlight, their marriage came under the rocks when a media outlet leaked a sex tape of Hogan with McDaniel's friend Heather Clem, who was married to radio host Bubba the Love Sponge Clem. To the shock of most people, their marriage survived the scandal, and the couple sued the media outlet Gawker for both financial losses and allegations that Gawker paired up with Cox's radio to conspire to release the tape and a slew of other charges. You eventually had sexual relations with Mr. B, yes? Bubba was also sued by Hogan after it was alleged that he filmed the aforementioned tape. He opted to instead settle outside of court and publicly apologized to Hogan afterward. When the dust settled, Hogan was awarded $115 million in compensatory damages and $25 million in punitive damages. The hefty amount resulted in Gawker filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, with their media assets being sold off to Univision Communications. To this day, Hogan never revealed what ultimately led to his divorce from McDaniel, but as mentioned above, his divorce from her was dealt with privately, and it is assumed that the two parted on good terms. Hulk Hogan's longest marriage was to Linda Hogan, as the two remained together for 24 years. In their 2 decades together, the Hogans had 2 children, Brooke and Nick, and notably brought their family into the spotlight with the aforementioned reality television show, Hogan Knows Best. At the peak of his WWE career, Hogan wrestled all around the world, and before that, he competed in both AWA and NJPW. Interestingly, despite all the options the Hulkster probably had, he met his first wife at a restaurant in Los Angeles. Unfortunately, details of their meeting remain sparse and will likely remain that way due to how sour their relationship ended. Ironically, their marriage soured once Hogan stepped away from full-time wrestling and was able to stay at home on a more permanent basis. It was at this time he launched his reality TV show, Hogan Knows Best. Hogan Knows Best was a reality television show featuring the Hogan family that aired from 2005 until 2007. At the time, reality TV was just beginning to cement its place in pop culture, making Hogan Knows Best one of the earlier successes in the genre. The show was a hit with fans, and as such, it attracted a substantial amount of weekly viewers, which quickly turned the entire Hogan family into household names. Unfortunately, behind the scenes, things were not going too well. Things were not as they seemed. Despite being portrayed as a loving father and husband, Hogan's marriage was slowly falling apart, and his relationships with both of his children soured. The producers of the show, however, encouraged the family to continue their happy family facade, which naturally led to more strain. The show's airing also coincided with his 25th return to WWE, leading many to believe that his return was only to promote the show, and not because he missed wrestling. According to Eric Bischoff on his 83 Weeks podcast, based on Hogan's own book, the reality show might not have created new issues within the family, but definitely worsened already established problems. On top of this, he believes that Hogan regretted doing the show in hindsight. Bischoff said, "I would go back to Hulk's own book, which is public knowledge, to answer the question. I believe that the Hogan Knows Best show probably exaggerated an already existing problem. So to me, it's not like Hogan Knows Best created the problem, but it certainly exacerbated it, probably fueled it, and probably expedited the end of their relationship and all the other negative things that happened. What do you make of Hulk Hogan's arthritis? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more.